There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate, full of sores, and desired to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, and being in torment, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame, suffering. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And so when he was talking about this story, the rich man and Lazarus, David was talking about this situation, about confidence in knowing where he was going to go, but he was talking about the treasures of what we will get in this life, because Lazarus lay begging, and this rich man could have given Lazarus. Lazarus lay there at the rich man's, and the rich man gave nothing to him. Nothing. So, and really it's not about this story related to Lazarus, but we pray, and David prayed, and we pray, and we have and really it was about confidence in our final salvation, because really that's what this prayer, because David was like, look at what they're doing to me, Lord. They're trying to eat and tear me apart. And he realized that as he was going forth, that from men which are at the hind, he said at the end, he just was saying, Lord, from men which are and I'm reading the 14th verse of the 17, he says, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, they are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. But I want to go to the 15th verse, because I feel like I've really kind of said a whole lot in that 14th verse. That said a whole lot. But in the 15th verse, I want to leave with this. As for me, as David says at the end, as for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. As for me, This is confidence in final salvation. As for me, when you want to know where you're going, as for me, when you want to know about final salvation, and I did want to I wanted, if you walk all the way through this, as for me, and you walking through every last, if you really got the gist of all of this, and your fate, where you're going, when you're walking through salvation, keep me as the apple, don't let my feet slide. Father, keep me as the apple of your eye. Check my heart. And then when we get to the end part of it, because I don't want to be rich and then at the end of it, leave the rest of my substance to my babes, my kids, and then in hell I lift up my eyes. No. And all I heaped up was treasures, rich money, everything. But then I don't know where my soul is going. I want to be like David at the end and say, as for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake. When I awake at the trumpet sound, when I awake with thy likeness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. When I awake. So this prayer, I don't know about anybody else, but when you walk through this prayer right here, and you hear David when he first starts out, this prayer right here, confidence in your final salvation, I didn't put that. Because when I walked through this, it let me know confidence in my final salvation. And the fourth verse is concerning the works of men by the fourth verse, concerning the works of men by the word of thy lips, I have kept me from the path of the destroyer. And the fifth verse, hold up my goings in thy paths that my foot slip not. And that 119th verse and 103. Oof. Just that whole 15 verses, the whole 15 verses walks you straight through to say, I'm going to keep praying this because like David, I don't want my feet to slide. I want you to keep me as the apple of your eye. Keep me. Don't let my feet slip. And and so hear the first verse. Hear the right, O Lord. Attend unto my cry. That's the cry I'm crying to the Lord. And the second verse, let my sentence come up before thy presence. So you have to be in the presence of the Lord to even say this prayer. Be in the presence of the Lord. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. My fate, God. Fate, my fate. What my fate is, God. And that third verse, that thou hast proven mine heart, that thou hast visited me in the night, as I'm resting, as I'm sleeping, and hast tried me and shall find nothing. I am purposed that my mouth shall not transgress, that there is no evil. And that means that we're repenting. We're Lord, that you find no evil. And that's why we're praying, you know. And then the fourth verse, just glossing over this, just reading it. Concerning the works of men, by the words of thy lips, I have kept me from the path of the destroyer. And the fifth verse, hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. That my footsteps slip not. The sixth verse, I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O God. Incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech. The seventh verse, show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by thy right hand them which put their trust in thee, from those that rise up against them. And in the eighth verse, keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. And in the ninth verse, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. They are enclosed in their enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth they speak proudly. In the 11th verse, they have now compassed us in our steps. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Psalms of David. Confidence and final salvation. That's the prayer of David. That's the prayer of David. So be encouraged with that prayer. Be encouraged with that prayer. God bless you. God keep you. And God keep you in knowing that that's the confidence that we have in God. That's the confidence that we have in God. That 15th verse that just solidifies it for me. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I wake with thy likeness. I shall be satisfied. Yep. I shall be satisfied. And I just give God all the honor and glory and praise because he is my song and my praise. And there's nothing like God being our song and our praise and our rock and our hiding place. And I love when David said that he is my hiding place, our secret place, our place, and he hides us in the shadow of his wings. He said, keep me as the apple of thy eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings. The 8th verse. That's my right there. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Of the eye. Of the eye. Keep me, as the 8th verse, 17 and 8. Keep